Hi everyone, it is a Saturday evening, a little after 10 p.m. on November 17th here in Tokyo, Japan. It's Roger Ver, CEO of Bitcoin.com, and my favorite non-governmental shill lawyer,
Daniel Kelman. Pleasure to be back with you guys.
So we figured, we're about 48 hours almost or so, after 36 hours or so after the upgrade for Bitcoin Cash. Figured we'd talk a little bit about that since people want to know our thoughts. We talked a little bit about it on the news show and our 4,000 petahashes we brought online with using more power output than the average power output of the Hoover Dam to support the Bitcoin Cash. So that was fun, but the whole thing's, I feel like the finish line is within sight, but it hasn't been crossed yet for the ABC version of Bitcoin Cash there. Any thoughts there, Daniel?
Yeah, I mean, you don't want to call things prematurely.
Don't want to call an election prematurely.
Yeah.
Tell people to go home, the election's over. It's not all the way over, but it's...
Yeah, don't call it prematurely, but I think things have been pretty decisive so far from what we saw. And I think people watching on the live stream agreed, right? You had Vitalik called up and gave a congratulations and had a tweet from Jihan, and then we had Craig Wright go on hashwar.live and kind of melt down a little bit over it. So
I heard about that. I didn't get a chance to see that one.
I got to watch it. You should have stayed up. We were in Athens and a little bit jet lagged, but I ended up staying up till about 2 in the morning following stuff, and it was pretty interesting.
I stayed up pretty much all night the night of the fork too, and then the next morning we promoted Bitcoin Cash to everybody in Athens. We didn't talk about that in the news show. We promoted Bitcoin Cash to everybody in Athens there. Gave everybody in attendance at the decentralized conference Bitcoin Cash, using golden tickets under their seats, put on by the University of Nicosia, the first university in the world to start accepting cryptocurrency as payments. They accept Bitcoin Cash now, of course. And but we're talking about the fork in this video. Currently, according to cash.coin.dance, the Bitcoin Cash is 17 blocks ahead of Bitcoin SV, but way more important than the number of blocks ahead, because it'll stay about that for forever because the way the difficulty algorithms work. It is 53.5% ahead on proof of work. That's a big deal.
That's
it's like, wow, more than 50% ahead on proof of work. A bunch of exchanges have started listing Bitcoin Cash and then Bitcoin SV, or BSV and BCH on the exchanges. So I think probably sometime tomorrow or within the next 48 hours for sure, you'll be able to start trading, and we'll see where the market trades on that sort of thing. But
yeah, and the more that grows, it's going to start to grow faster. I mean, you'd expect that because miners don't want to mine coins that don't have value.
It's pretty amazing, although how many miners philosophically are willing to mine BCH when it's worth less per hash than it is to mine BTC still at this point. So that just shows how ideologically driven so much the community is for Bitcoin Cash. And now that Bitcoin Cash has been upgraded to allow a couple of other things, I think we're going to see all sorts of new stuff being built on top of it. But I talked about it in the news show, but I'll say it again here. Like, I'm fully on board with the idea of locking down the protocol and making it stable for businesses to be able to rely on month after month, year after year, decade after decade. And the BSV guys have done a good job saying that, but their actions have been the exact opposite of what they're saying. So I'd like to encourage everybody to practice what you preach. Any thoughts there?
Yeah, and then threatening to
burn the whole thing down.
Claiming that you're Satoshi and claiming you're going to sell all of your Bitcoin if things don't go your way. It's like the equivalent of a kid losing a basketball game and walking home with his ball. So it's, that's not the way you should act. If you're the person who built Bitcoin and it's here and it becomes something that everyone loves, why would you just say, oh, you don't want to listen to me, I'm just going to try to burn the whole thing down? That's pretty immature.
It's not the type of people I want to associate with in my life.
Well, certainly not. And
yeah, if you don't like something, don't use it. Right? If there's a crypto coin you don't like, don't use it. If there's a currency you don't like, don't use it, right? That's why I try not to use the dollar too much anymore.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, it's why so many people are mad at Bitcoin Cash. Why are you mad at any digital currency? Be mad at the fiat currencies that are used to manipulate, billions of people all over the world. That's the currency you should be mad at, not at Bitcoin Cash.
Yeah, so I think a lot of times we lose sight of things and what we're really fighting for. And it's a cash that everyone can use. And if people have different views about it, fine. But it'd be nice to see people in the Bitcoin world fighting against each other less and fighting for what got us
more economic freedom for the world. Yeah. So yeah, but if you want to burn the whole thing down, it's pretty clear you're not in favor of more economic freedom of the world. You're going to burn to the ground the tools that can enable more people to lift themselves up out of poverty than anything else we've had probably since the invention of the internet itself. Like, why would you advocate for that? That's crazy talk. So.
Yeah, and especially someone who claims to be the person who invented everything. I mean, one of the maybe ironic things about this are the checkpoints that were put into the code, right? The original Satoshi, he put checkpoints into the code, and so
he said he planned to do it in every future release.
That's
too.
right, and
Yeah.
The core developers I don't think made use of this, but it was in the original
He said it right
code.
there publicly on the Bitcoin.org forums.
Yeah.
Satoshi very, very clearly said he loves checkpoints.
And so ABC made use of checkpoints.
Great.
And SV did not. So
interesting that the guy claiming to be Satoshi is claiming to hate the very thing that the real Satoshi for sure said that he likes. So.
And checkpoints are a very good defense for allowing
chain reorgs. Yeah.
That's right, for preventing a chain reorg attack.
So speaking of that's probably the biggest news. People are wondering like, what should we do? Where are we at? Well, there's a great quote here from the CTO of Bitcoin.com is Swedish, so his English is fantastic, but occasionally it's a little tiny bit strange. So I tweaked it a tiny bit, but this is Emil, the CTO of Bitcoin.com's words basically, and I polished it off to be perfect English. But he says, due to ABC releasing version 18.4 with a checkpoint and reorg protection, we now have a permanent split. ABC miners will for sure keep mining and extending the ABC chain. What InChain and CoinGeek will do is still unknown. This split is permanent, and attacks to reorg and reverse the ABC chain to a pre-fork state are no longer possible. This means that exchanges can resume deposits, and we should urge them to do so everything can get back to normal. And that's the real thing. We need to get back to normal as fast as we possibly can. And Calvin has a lot of hash rate. Like I hope Calvin will mine the coin that actually has the chance to bring more economic freedom to the world and disassociate himself from a person that says he's willing to burn the whole thing down if he doesn't get his exact way. So hash rate is nice to have. So Calvin, feel free to use your hash rate for good rather than to support somebody who wants to burn the whole thing to the ground if he doesn't get his way. And so speaking of that, I didn't see the news until I pulled this up. Apparently I've been recording videos for the last hour or two here, but Bitcoin Cash, the ABC version, which is Bitcoin Cash in my view, which is the real Bitcoin in my view as well, it officially has the Bitcoin Cash ticker on Bitrex. So thank you, Bitrex, for doing the right thing. Other exchanges are following suit. Already has it on Kraken, already has it on Coinbase, already has it on Bitcoin.com, of course. I think blockchain.info, like all the pieces of the puzzle are lining up there. So thank you, Bitrex. I think I have an exchange on Bitrex. Maybe I'll go trade on Bitrex, or an account on Bitrex. So maybe I'll go trade some of my SV tokens for more BCH tokens on Bitrex tonight or tomorrow or something. It's been a pretty long day for both of us too.
Yeah.
So we arrived back in Tokyo from Athens a couple hours ago, maybe I don't know, 9 hours ago. We took a little nap, and now we're in the office at almost 11 p.m. at night, Saturday night here in Tokyo. That's how much we love bringing more economic freedom to the world. So.
And making sure we bring you guys all the news as soon as we can.
Yeah. So here's an interesting quote from, I guess this is kind of good news. We're reading our BTC, or I'm reading our BTC news because our Bitcoin is completely censored. And somebody else had a good point. It says, BSV is going to zero. I don't know if that's true, but they said Craig Wright, InChain, CoinGeek have no intention to support a separate BSV coin. They didn't even build a BSV wallet or block explorer. It's a pretty good point. I'm going to upvote that. There's 110 comments below, none of which I'm sure have been deleted or censored. I'm sure there's some conversation taking place on our Bitcoin, but it'll be completely censored and controlled to give the point of view that the controllers of that platform want to give. So a reminder, don't use censored platforms. Use ones where free speech are supported. So our BTC, of course, on that. Any thoughts on that fact that they didn't even, I think they didn't even consider the fact that they might lose the battle. But like we talked about, we had all our cards ready and we played them out yesterday, and I think the battle was won before it even started in behalf of the peer-to-peer electronic cash for the world. Bitcoin Cash.
I think it was decisive, and I think having something decisive is
Hoover
good
Dam
for the
on our
market.
side.
That helped a little bit,
Yeah, for those that don't know, so we moved most people watching this will know, but we moved over 4,000 petahashes, 4 exahashes onto the Bitcoin.com mining pool at the time of the fork. The amount of power required to power that many miners is more than the average power output of the Hoover Dam. And we have that available to us for, I saw Calvin tweeting on Twitter that, they just rented the hash rate for a single day, blah, 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 blah. Calvin, if you happen to watch this video, we have that much hash rate available, not for a single day. We have it for a single decade if we need it. It's there for as long as we need it, and we have even more available if we need it. So we're busy building peer-to-peer cash for the entire world. That's our goal, and nobody's going to stop us. So we'd love to have your support, but if you don't want to help bring more economic freedom to the world, which I think you do. I've met you. I spent a lot of time with you in person, Calvin. I was fooled previously, I think, with somebody's promising more than they're able to deliver. Fool me once, okay, you fooled me, but you're not going to fool me again. So I invite you to take that same path. Like, don't be fooled repeatedly by people that promise more than they can deliver. And we'd love to have your help bring more economic freedom to the world. But at the end of the day, it's your life and your money and your time. You're welcome to spend it however you want. I'd implore you to spend it doing good things, but good things are subjective to you, so do what you want, I guess. Anything to add there, Daniel?
Yeah, do what you want, but make sure you're making an informed decision and keep an open mind in everything you're doing. So, like you said, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So just make sure you're keeping an open mind.
Yeah, and we were on the airplane all day today, so we didn't have much internet, but there's something going on with another supposed signed message from Satoshi where people are saying that it's another parlor trick by Craig. I don't know. I didn't have time to read into any of it, but
I haven't looked into it, but I wouldn't be surprised. When you get beaten that badly, you're going to have to do something to respond. So.
And another guy I really like in the space here, I'm just going down the list of things being discussed on our BTC here. Eli Afram, who I've met in person and really, really like. His articles have been fantastic and great thinker in the space, because he had more bars and stores lined up in Sydney to start accepting Bitcoin Cash. Right now, I can't in good faith onboard them. He's right. Like the battle within Bitcoin Cash that was egged on in a huge part by these Bitcoin core supporters who hate Bitcoin being a peer-to-peer cash system. They did everything they could to make the fight a lot worse than it would have otherwise been. And so we need stability to build on top of. And Bitcoin Cash the last 36 hours or 48 hours has not been a stable platform to build on. So we need to restabilize it and then make sure that it's going to be stable for years and years and decades to come, so that people can build on it and not have to worry about things like that just happened in the last 36 hours.
I wish we could find that article about signing something, whatever Craig Wright did, but in my opinion, if it's not a message signed with a Genesis block, it's nothing. There's a very easy way to prove something, and
Satoshi's not God. Satoshi's not right about everything.
That's true.
And like Vitalik said, like if it turned out that like Craig was Satoshi, that would just lower my impression of Satoshi at this point. I thank Satoshi, whoever or wherever he is or whatever he is, for having created Bitcoin in the first place. But
whoever
he is,
he's human.
Thank you for whoever you were the first time, but you're still human.
Yeah.
You're not God. So, and Craig, if you did play a role or a part in that, like, thank you for that. If you did, I don't know. I'm pretty damn skeptical at this point. So, but truth is stranger than fiction sometimes.
Yeah.
So,
but I don't think he did. That's my opinion. If you want to prove otherwise, just sign something with a Genesis block. It's that simple.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's, I guess, where we're at. Maybe we'll have to make another update video in a couple more days once everything's settled and the exchanges are back online and we have clear price discovery for both the BSV and Bitcoin Cash. And So speaking, you don't think Craig is Satoshi? Ryan X Charles said on Twitter today, apparently he thinks that he is.
Well, everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Everyone's entitled to their opinions.
But it seems to me there's a very easy way of proving that you are.
And so this was, so Yonald Fuqbal, another fantastic guy. I've been meaning to make like some of his essays into videos where I just read his essay and comment on him. But he just submitted 17 minutes ago to RBTC, and I'm going to upvote this because it's fantastic. He says, no matter how large the BSV hash rate is, CSW cannot take away the network effect built by BCH. So that's exactly right. Like, no matter how much, and same is true of like the BTC chain. They have way more hash than the BCH chain, but all the entrepreneurs and the passionate people about bringing peer-to-peer electronic cash for the world, the vast majority of them are building on Bitcoin Cash, and the BTC trolls and censorship can't take that away from us. And it's not a question of if, it's just a question of how soon we managed to like have the bigger ecosystem and the bigger market cap and the bigger number of transactions, because all the passionate people and the good entrepreneurs are busy building on Bitcoin Cash. So if you're looking to make a play in the Bitcoin or the cryptocurrency space, Bitcoin Cash is the way to go, and we have all the tools that you need over at developer.bitcoin.com to do it. So special thanks to you, Yanold, for writing all these fantastic essays. I invite people to read his essays. Special thanks to Rick Valkfing for making all sorts of fantastic YouTube videos. Subscribe to Yanold's Medium. Do you call it a channel on Medium? What do you call it? His account? Subscribe to his account on Medium?
Channel account, either way works.
Something.
And subscribe to whoever it is on Medium.
And subscribe to Rick Valkfing's YouTube channel too. We'll put a link to both those people's accounts or channels in the description below. Anything else to add of the current state of the fork? Or
I think that's about it. Wait and see. There'll be more developments in the very near future.
I think I'm probably ready to go home and trade some BSV for BCH, and I can increase my BCH holdings, I think. So
we'll see if we can do that on Bitrex too.
Very easy thank you, Bitrex. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I guess that's it. Sorry we don't have more really deep insight into the fork. It's still really recently after the fork, and we spent most of that time on an airplane.
Yeah.
And before that, we were busy at the conference. So, anything else tonight?
That's it.
Take your Bitcoin Cash, because you can't use BSV, over to purse.io and save 30% on Amazon, because that's a fantastic way to use your Bitcoin Cash to make the world a better place.
The holidays are almost here, and you get 30% more than you would otherwise.
Yeah, and then you can tell all your family and friends that you bought their Christmas gift using Bitcoin Cash, because you support more economic freedom for the entire world. And you can get them a 30% nicer gift than you otherwise would have for the same amount of money.
Yeah.
So, yeah. All right, I guess that's it. If you like the video, share it with a friend, subscribe to the channel, and we'll probably see you again in a couple of days, actually. So, thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.